What's up, guys? How are you doing? Welcome back. So we're in Grange Gorman today for a change. So we'd come down here just for a bit of a change of scenery. So today we are just going to run through. We're going to keep going with Ciara's progress. I think we were doing body punches. We talked about there was a couple of other things. Also, just to mention on the last video, I don't know if you commented, but my timing for the workout was completely screwed. So you can read the comments there to fix it up. But yeah, I was missing out a set. So basically, you need to do 2 sets of that instead of 1. Anyway, other news: we're back in the club. Whoop, whoop. From next Wednesday.
That's the 5th of August.
The 5th of August. It's only going to be for the competitive squad and the adult classes, unfortunately, at this stage, and all the information is going to be put on the Facebook, so check it out for more details. But we're all very excited to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, yeah, what else do we need to say? We're probably going to keep doing these videos. We may even be able to do some in the club, do some bag work, a few other exercises with some better equipment. Be good to get in out of the rain, so that's exciting as well. And yeah, without further ado, I guess we'll get Ciara out here and we'll keep going. So just before we start, we're just going to do a little warm-up as well, because so we don't hurt our legs. So we're just going to do a quick one. So if you don't have much time and you're in the house or whatever, you just do this, okay? So we're just doing the knees, warm them up a bit, ankles. I've actually just done a warm-up, so I don't need to do a big one. Okay, hips. Bit of a stretch. Shoulders. So Ciara's been doing these videos with me. We've been doing them together for now for the lockdown period, and you can really see how much she's improved since the beginning. So we haven't been doing anything too crazy, just talking a bit about body movement, exercises, kind of how to think about your training. So hopefully people have been getting some use out of it. You can see that it does work if you build on things slowly and methodically. Okay, so when you're ready, Ciara, go. So to start with, just not up on your feet, nice and light. Let's just get the heart rate up a bit. Okay, so we're just going to do a little bit of moving. So in your stance, forward and back, like we did, nice and tight. We're always going to start by just running through the basics, the stance, the movement, the weight, the guard, and the punches, and then we'll get into what we were working on last time. So just from there, moving around a bit. Okay, so what I want you to do is, I want you to just stay the same distance from me wherever I go, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Good. Okay. Okay, get out of the way that way. Good. That way. Okay, you start up on your toes again, your guards. Okay, just 1, 2, nice and easy. Good. Again. Good, fully extending.
Again.
Yeah, keep going. Okay, double jab. Good. Good. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good. Nice. Now a couple of slips.
Do we throw and slip or just slip?
Whatever you feel, yeah, throw and slip. Just a bit of shadow boxing type kind of things, just to get used to it, just to get warmed up.
Ah.
When you throw your jab, slip, yeah, there we go, perfect. Very good. Okay, just move back a bit, move back a bit. Okay, now just a couple of rolls, nice and light on your feet. Okay. Move around, nice and light. Good, okay, nice and loose. So that'll do. That's just a little warm up, just to get used to the, just to get us back feeling nice and loose. Okay, so last time we were talking about body punches, and I think we were talking about the
Leading hand jab to the body.
leading hand jab to the body and the pop forward and back. Okay, so we're going to start from there. I don't think we quite made it to the punch. There was something else that we didn't do as well, was it?
I think that was it.
That was it, okay. So, just to recap from that. Now, when we're in our stance, a lot of the time we're grounded, our feet are grounded. I know I talked a bit about this last week. So, our weight is grounded always in the centre, no matter what's happening. And you see people on their toes, they're moving around a lot, they're always light on their feet. The weight should always be like just drilling into that floor so that you're never off balance. That wherever you stop, you're always ready to move, either punch, move, slip, whatever's going on. You have to be centered, you have to be solid. Okay, so even though I'm popping in and out, boom, in and out, my weight needs to be here. And the way that we're going to do that is by always being loaded, like what we talked about. So from our stance from here, and my weight is going forward and back, but it's kind of like a seesaw hovering over a center pin. Okay, so even though I'm going forward and back, I'm not doing this. Okay, the weight is in the center. We can start nice and slow, just moving forward and back, okay? And then we're going to do our jab to the body. What we're doing is, boom, we're getting in, getting out as soon as we can. So when you move in, that leading foot is like a spring. And all you're doing is landing on the spring and it's firing you back that way. Boom, okay? Boom, back, boom, back. Okay, so from here, if we were jabbing to the head, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so my feet are not moving a huge amount. I remember last time. Yeah, I remember last time we were talking about that. A lot of people think that by moving in and out, you have to go all the way in, all the way out. I'm only moving about that much. Okay, but that much on my foot, along with my hip turning and my body turning and my arm fully extending, which is what we talked about before. That much at the foot is this much on the end of your punch, and that's all you need, because you should be, when you're boxing someone, you're always going to be almost within range. You're going to be hovering over that in range, out range area, and that's the name of the game, isn't it? So we're going to be moving around with your opponent. You're going to be using your leading hand to test your distance, okay? Where am I? You're going to be testing, okay, testing, and then whoop, like a fencer, stabbing with that punch, okay? But it's really important that you're in the right position to start with, so that you can get in and out. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so we're going to start from there. We're going to work on that explosive bouncing back and forth, and then we're going to throw the punch in. So for now, all we're going to do is a straight jab.
Okay.
But we're concentrating on the movement. Okay. So when you're ready in your stance,
Do you want me here?
we're going to do it this way so that we can see on the camera. Okay, when you're ready.
Just start right.
Yeah. So just start from the very beginning, one thing at a time. Yeah. Good. Oh no. Is it really soft?
Bouncing, yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna
Not do that because I pulled the muscle in my leg.
So I'm just gonna keep going then. I'll keep talking about it for a bit, and you guys can practice it at home. Okay. So once again, from here, I'm in my stance, shoulder width apart. About shoulder width apart, legs turned in. From here, I'm hopping. I'm testing with my leading hand. When I'm ready, boom. Okay. Boom. So when I'm doing a jab to the body, or a backhand jab to the body, the only difference really between that and a jab to the head is that I'm going underneath someone. Okay, so from here, all I'm doing is compacting myself, and I have to go in under the punch. So if you're standing in front of me, my leading hand jab is coming straight at you, all I'm doing is going under you like that. Okay, so I don't have to move a huge amount. I don't have to crouch all the way down to the ground. All I have to do is move enough to get underneath your punches. Okay, so from here, my guard, boom, boom, boom. Okay, like a fencer, stabbing someone. Boom. Okay, backhand is very similar. From here, what I'm doing is turning the hips. Okay, and my backhand jab is coming straight out, like as if it was going to the head. My shoulders coming up to guard my chin. Okay, for the body, it's exactly the same thing. Okay, so from here, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so it's really important that when you're doing that, you're comfortable with the weight distribution of your feet, because that's what's going to give you the power. That's what's going to give you the accuracy, that's what's going to give you the ability to get in and get out straight away. Boom, maybe I can move if my weight is in the wrong way. Okay, when I throw a punch, I'm all the way in, and I've got nowhere to go, and I'm going to get tagged. So from here, if I'm too far in, I can't get out. So from here, in, out, in, out. Now you can see I'm turning my hips, extending, getting under, straight into the guts. Okay, what else can I say about that? Kind of throwing a spanner in the works now. We don't have our dummy.
Thanks. I'm very sorry about that.
That's alright. What else can we talk about? The hooks and the uppercuts. We haven't done any of that.
Now I am sorry to be missing that.
Well, you can maybe start doing some of this on with the upper body. So, just to recap on the body punches, when Ciara's leg's better, we can come back and we can show you her progress, because it's a really good way to see in real time the kind of how people are improving. So the hooks, sorry, to recap on the body shot, most important things for me, and remember all of the instructions I'm giving you are all based on my own experience from doing it. It's not kind of, everyone has their own style, everyone has their own techniques. I'm just saying what was important for me when I was doing it. So the weight distribution, the balance of where you are, that ability to be light on your feet but also solid, the ability to move in and out, pop in and out, pop in and out, that sharp, snappy, stabbing punch, and the accuracy and speed of your punches, exactly the same as the normal leading hand, backhand jab. Okay.
We can do hooks if you just want me to stand there.
Yeah, maybe. I'll run through them and then we can bring you out and break it down again. So that's body for now. If there's anything that's still confusing or if I've missed anything out, then comment and let me know. So the hooks and the uppercuts. These are great punches, and if you manage to use them, they can be devastating. They're not really, I mean, everybody likes to imagine throwing these killer huge hooks and huge uppercuts, but the honest reality is that, you know, they are not the most used punches when you're boxing. It's always jabs and stuff, and if you do throw a hook or an uppercut, it's more than likely going to come off a jab. So first thing to say is that before you start perfecting these, I would definitely recommend perfecting the jabs: leading hand jab, backhand jab, leading hand jab to the body, and backhand jab to the body, and then the rest of them will come off that, okay? So the hooks to start with, there are different types: short range, mid range, long range hooks, depending on what you're using. We'll start with the short range, okay? So from here, from your guard, the same as your jabs, they start from the same place. So for the backhand hook, okay, again, your opponent is going to need to be very close to you for you to throw a backhand close range jab and hook, and for it to actually connect. If you think about throwing a jab, it's fully extending, it's going to be so, the distance between you is enormous. If you think about throwing a short range backhand hook, it's almost on your nose, so they need to be face to face with you, toe to toe, as I say. So from here, it's exactly the same motion as your backhand jab. Okay, I'm turning the hips first to start. My back toe is lifting up, my hip is turning, my body is turning, and then if I was to throw a leading hand jab, my hand would come out like that. Because I'm throwing a hook, all that it's doing is coming out, and it's at right angles like that, and it's going to hit my target there, okay? So you can see it's not that far away from me. My hand is at like a right angle. This hand here is blocking my opponent if I miss, and then it's coming straight back to my guard quick enough so that I'm not exposed under here for very long, okay? So from here, boom, that's it. So the power is coming from my hip. My shoulder is nice and loose because I've warmed up properly, of course, and it's going to roll off its socket like that and roll out. It's going to come up, turn, hook, hit the target, okay, and then back to my guard. From here, boom, boom, okay, in the front, boom, 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 the side, boom, boom, boom. Okay, the idea is that if I'm standing like this with my guard here, or if I'm standing like this and I drop my hand for a second, my opponent is nice and close, they're going to come up around my guard and hit me on the chin. That's what it's for, okay? Or if you're crouching down, you can go to the body, okay? It's really important that you don't do this, swinging around like this, or that you move back. Another thing to think about is that your entire body is moving for this. Boom, okay, boom. So my left shoulder is going back and my right shoulder is going forward. So from the front, boom, but my left hand is going as well. So I'm getting power from that motion, okay? The leading hand hook, short range, is exactly the same as leading hand jab at the beginning. I'm turning my toe, my hip is turning, and boom, I'm coming straight out onto the target. So if I stand straight on like this, and I put my hand here, if I'm standing square on from here, it's essentially going straight up like that to my target. Boom, straight back to my chin. Boom, straight back to my chin. Boom, straight back to my chin, okay? So on my stance, same thing, from here, boom, I'm turning my hip, boom, it's turning my body, my shoulders rolling off, and it's driving my hand at right angles up onto my target like that, okay? Boom, boom. It's much easier to throw a hook, if you've come off another punch, again the backhand jab, because I'm already wound back. My next punch is going to have the motion of that attached to it. So what else do I need to say about that? Important things. Your feet, your footwork and your legs and everything is the same as the other punches. It's really important that you remember that. Your base is strong, your balance is good, your hips are turning first, which is going to turn your body. The only thing different is the execution and what happens up here. It's important that your hand comes out, that your arm is at right angles, that you've turned your elbow up. I used to always hook like this, and I always got told off for it, that you have to get your elbow up. I just still have visions of Eagle going like this all the time. So elbow up, boom. Okay, that's all it takes. You don't need to do a huge big sweeping punch like that to get power from a hook. All the power is coming from my hips and my body and my shoulder. Okay, when you're practicing warming up and you're doing shoulder rolls and all this kind of stuff, that's the motion. If I'm warming up like this, okay, that is the same motion as when I'm throwing my hook. Boom. Okay, boom. It's from here. It's this motion. Boom. Okay. Boom. But then you add your hips, you add all the other stuff to it, and then your power comes from there. Okay. So those are the short range hooks. The difference between a short range hook and a long range hook are very minute. It's basically where what your arm does and where it lands. So obviously I can't throw a long range hook and have my fist land like that because my arm's not long enough. So you need to turn your elbow out, your arm out, so that you're hitting with the top two knuckles like that on your target. So you'd be more likely to throw a long range hook in a fight because hopefully you're not going to be within short range distance for too long. So the only difference here is similar to a jab, it comes out, but this time it's just curving a little bit. From here, I turn my hip, turn my body, it comes out like a jab that comes out straight, but this one's coming out a little bit further around the guard or the fist of my opponent and onto my target, and I'm connecting with my top two knuckles like that, okay, and then back again. So from here, boom, 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 boom. Okay, it's only a slight hooking motion, but it is a hooking motion, and the power is coming out like a whip. The difference between that and this is that I'm driving this one straight in. This one, I'm whipping it out around my opponent's guard and onto the button. Okay. Backhand long range hook is much more difficult, and again, the chances that you're going to be throwing this a lot are very slim. But if you get good, then more power to you. Same thing in your stance, turning the hook, the hips, turning the body, exactly the same as a backhand jab. Okay, head's tucked, chin's tucked under. All I'm doing is coming around the guard, and I'm hitting with these two knuckles on the target. Boom. Okay, from the side. Boom. 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 Okay, they're very similar to the jab. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, short range, nice and tight. Long range, a little bit further away. Okay, so that's all I have to say about those two. The uppercuts, very similar. They, again, actually I used to throw a good uppercut that used to always get me a point or two, but they're, again, they can be useful if they're done properly. So the thing to remember about the uppercuts is that you are, again, going to need to be quite close to your opponent, because if you throw an uppercut from here, they have to be close enough for you to get them. So from your stance, I'll run through the punches first, and then we'll talk a little bit about things to think about when you're throwing them and how to use them and stuff like that. So from your stance, from here, what we're doing from the uppercut is exactly the same as a slip motion. Okay, so if you imagine I slipped a punch like that, I'm basically winding a spring down, and then I am, with the motion coming up, I'm going to release my leading hand, and it's going to come up from my chin boom. And just like the hook that comes out like that, it's going to come up and onto the chin. So one way to remember, one way to think of it is that you have a pipe in front of you and your fist is going up the pipe. Now to get up the pipe, it's easier to, or a ring, it's easier to get a bit of a wound down motion. You can throw straight from here if you want. Boom. Okay. Boom. All I'm doing here is I'm still turning my hip. Okay. I'm still turning this. But instead of going out for a hook or out straight, I'm going up. Okay. I'm still doing this motion with my shoulder, but I'm going from here, boom, straight up under the guard of someone else. So if I'm standing like this and I'm not paying attention and I'm leaving myself open under here, I don't have my guard tight enough or I don't have my chin tucked, someone can very easily get a good uppercut underneath me like that. Okay, so things to remember: stance, same as all the others. Okay, from here, from your guard, boom, turn my hips, fire that shoulder out, it's going to roll its way out, punch is going to go from my guard, straight up, top two knuckles are going to hit the target, in the pipe, boom, and then straight back to my guard. The backhand is exactly the same, turn the hips, boom, release the shoulder, roll it around, and boom, that's where the power comes from. Okay, there's no point in using your arm strength to throw that punch. It all comes from the hip and from the shoulder rolling. Okay, boom. Obviously you need to have strong arms too, but most of their power is coming from the body movement. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, now going back a bit further to the wind down, that is to emphasize the movement of the hook. Okay, so from here, if I throw from here, okay, I only have the power of my hip and the power of my shoulder. If I wind down a bit, then I have all of that unwind power, because obviously you have your energy. I've talked a lot about energy in this. Now you have to figure out where your energy lies and how to tap into it and control it. Okay, so the energy that you have is like it's like a pulsing energy, and you wind it down with your body movements, and you release it then onto your opponent. So from here, if I'm coming down, if I can get under someone, or if I can do this motion like a slip motion, then I wound that down. I have all of that energy ready to stored up, ready to go. Boom! I can fly that hook out, and I have all of that power coming to it. Okay. So if I'm moving down, boom, then as I come up, I can release that hook onto my opponent. Same with the backhand. If I'm moving in on someone, okay, and I have that power wound down, bang, I can unleash it on my opponent. So if you're just starting out and you're getting used to this, forget about the wind down. That's probably going a bit too far. For now, I would just focus on the things that we always focus on. The balance, the feet, getting those things right, and getting that hip turning, boom, getting that shoulder rolling, boom, straight up. Okay, you could have your hook, boom, 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 boom. Okay, practice this when you're doing your shadow boxing as well. We've talked a lot about shadow boxing, but this is a perfect thing if it feels awkward, because a lot of people want to have a good strong hook and it doesn't come naturally like the other punches do. So when you're practicing your shadow boxing, just start off nice and loose and get that feeling of your shoulder rolling off itself. Okay, you see, just nice and relaxed. This motion. Okay. If you're at home, just practice that feeling. All I'm doing is holding my t-shirt here, okay, like a chicken. Okay, nice and loose, nice and rolled. My shoulders are completely relaxed. That's the feeling. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, it's all coming from my shoulders. When I throw my hook, that shoulder should be hitting me in the chin. So if you watch here, boom, see that? Boom, it's hitting me. Boom. Okay, because that's how much it's moving from here, from my stance. It's coming all the way. It's rolling off, and it's rolling my arm down, and it's hitting me in the chin here. Boom, boom, boom. For every punch. Boom. You can see that my shoulders are rolling from here, hitting me in the chin each time because they're so loose and moving around. Okay, so I think we'll leave it there nice and short today. Just to recap quickly, the backhand and lead hand jab to the body, footwork, popping in and out, balance, energy being in the centre.
Don't pull muscles.
Don't pull your muscle. Nice stabbing motion, stab, stab, get in, get out. The hooks and the uppercuts, again, same base, always start from the feet, always start from the correct footing, get your balance right, all of that. The hips, turning of the hips is always number one. Get that hip turning, get that body moving, rolling the shoulders off. Nice small movements, not dropping that hand, not dropping these hands all the way down, not swinging that hand out. Nice and compact, boom, 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 boom. Practice this at home, do your shadow boxing as much as you can. Take it slow, take it one step at a time. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the club very soon. Thanks a lot.